Hello, everybody. My name is Pariston from LSM, Loving Social Media, and here with me today, I'm interviewing Adam from AMA Communications and Salon Communications. We've talked before in the past. He's a very good client of ours. We have a very good relationship, and we're going to be talking to you about some of the things that has been going on, has transpired in the past few months in relation to telecommunications and some important things that your business will need to be aware of, and how Adam can actually bring that to the forefront to potentially save your business and further increase the growth of your revenue of said business. So Adam, great to have you here again.
Thanks for having me along, guys.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, LSM and AMA work closely together. We've went to a few shows together, in this past month. It's been very busy for you, Adam. So just from your perspective, could you just detail the viewers what you have been up to in October alone? Because it was very busy for you.
Very busy, yeah. So we've been to a couple of conventions, a couple of trade shows. I think the standout bits have been the Entrepreneurs Circle convention. So that was up in Birmingham, and obviously meeting very fellow entrepreneurs and sort of gauging how the business is flowing, and obviously we're trying to sort of help them with any sort of tips and tricks on their audio content, the broadband content, telephones, and obviously promoting the big switch off. From the salon side, again, the main stand-up point was Salon International, massive event, obviously an international event, various different nationalities we spoke to. Obviously, we really wanted to focus on the UK side because of what's changing in the tech world. We were kind enough to be invited up on stage with the NHBF, so they had a live business and digital skills stage. So we were part of that process. Basically spread the word on the 2025 switch off to all the salon owners, which again was gratefully received. We spoke to probably 4,000 or 5,000 salon owners over the course of the 3 days, and I'm sure we'll get into in a bit more detail, but a lot of stats, but also a lot of concern for us.
Yeah, for real. Because when we were with you at the Birmingham convention at the Entrepreneur Circle, one of the things I picked up on was how many people didn't actually know about it, which would also assume that the network providers and the service providers didn't actually inform them about what the big switch off is. So when they hear 2025, their first response is, oh, that's a year away, that's far away, I'm going to worry about it now. But do you think you can go ahead and share some light as to why it's important to prepare for it today?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was our massive concern, to be honest, that every single owner we spoke to, a small percentage have already made the switch, but they weren't actually aware of why the switch was made, because their supplier basically just, maybe the contract was up at the point in time and they've just moved them across without really giving them the back sort of detail as to why they've done so. The problem we've got, guys, is that if we leave it to the last minute, it's the same analogy as if you're going down the motorway, there's an accident and they close two lanes and you're all trying to get to the same destination at the same point in time. Naturally, that time, your waiting time's a lot longer, and that's the same process and procedure. Essentially, with moving all your comms across to what they call voice over IP or the cloud, end to end, it can take about 30 days. 20 days. 20 working days, about 30 calendar days. Yes, 2025 is ages away. We know that, but as we now know, Christmas, the dreaded Christmas word, we're not far away from that. Then we'll be talking about Easter. Then we'll be talking about our summer holidays. Then we'll be talking about fireworks and Christmas again. That's another year ticked off. So we're basically urging everyone just to think about their connections, their connectivity. Think about this whole process, because it's creeping up on us, guys. And let's say if everyone wants to make that change at the same point in time, it might not take 20 working days. It might take 40 working days. It might take longer.
Yeah, and
we're just trying to help as much as we can, just to make sure everyone's prepped and ready.
Yeah, and that fair warning is very important. It's very important that you note that could take to 20 to 30 working days. So those that work on the internet, they have a career on the internet, they can all agree that a day or even a week in internet time is a very long time. Let's say there was an artist that released, had a new song that was leaked, and it was supposed to be released a week later. Those 7 days are very long, and it can really affect that artist's business. So now let's take that into a bigger franchise. If you need 20 to 30 days, potentially even 40 days to get that transition over, that's 40 days of potential revenue being missed out. That's 40 days of customers leaving, acquisition going down the drain, even retention being dwindling. So this type of prerequisite to get things stabilized before everyone jumps onto the hurdle is very important. Yes, 2025 is essentially just the big switch off in 2025 is just under 2 years away. It's around September, if I'm correct. And as you said, we're almost nearing Christmas by the end of this year. Then you blink and it's gonna be Christmas next year. So getting onto it now will not only put you ahead of the curve, but it'll prevent you from getting into any type of disputes or potentially failures in communication with your clients and your customers. So this is when we go ahead and transition into the salon side, because we can talk about this onto the general side, but you have expertise in salon communications. So when it comes down to having to preach this message to, let's just say, a general convenience store or any type of department that isn't salon based, how would you go ahead and communicate this same message to that different type of audience? Because their market base is very different, their clientele base is very different, so therefore their awareness of such things would be very different. Not in a way which diminishes them, but their interpretation will vary. So how do you communicate this with the various types of people within the market you seem to target?
Yeah, so I think we're working very closely with the NHBF, so they've got several thousand members, which is great because we can obviously offer our expertise, our input, our advice, and that's going to be published out to all the members. So they are going to start to get basically drip fed all this information as of January. We're obviously keen to get the message out there before January, which is part of the reason, part of the lead and focus when we're at Salon International, just to actually just sort of drum those messages home that 2025 is far away, but as we all know, months tick by, you're busy, especially salons are entering their busiest period now. Obviously getting everyone prepped and ready for their Christmas parties and Christmas and all the festivities. So realistically, probably not going to have time to look at this until January, but at least the seed's been planted and they're now aware of what is happening. And obviously all those many owners that come and stop by and said hello to us over the 3 days, amazing just how many had no idea this was even a thing. So we've spread some awareness, we've done our sort of good deed, if you like, and that's just not enough for us. We still want to keep going on and sort of banging the drum. So we will be featured in many articles across several different sort of marketing in sort of print pieces. Obviously working lots of you guys to help us spread the message on the socials. So again, we're keen to sort of spread that message to anyone far and wide in the sort of hair, beauty, wellness world. That includes all your hair salons, your beauty salons, your nail bars, your day spas, your aesthetic clinics, barbershops. Anyone within that space needs to know this is happening.
Yes, exactly. And you made a very good point in terms of actually getting that marketing awareness out there, because it does go far beyond the social medias. As since we work in a marketing agency, we can really easily identify that the SEO practices such as blog writing, video blogs, video articles are some of the most effective way to get this out there, because it will rank higher on the algorithm. So therefore, a key piece of advice is that if you want to go ahead and preach this message, go ahead and use other forms of the internet and other forms of marketing to go ahead and do so. To stay specifically on social media will not get you that type of reach that you need, and Adam and AMA help essentially prepare for that and give you the best tips and the best advice and support for that. On that note, we talked about the various salons and how I even made that artist and music analogy. Audio marketing is a lot more, it's very crucial. It is very crucial, both in terms of actual in-store marketing and potentially being put on hold. So do you think you could just explain to us and explain to me the importance of right audio marketing specifically in salons?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone knows what the ringtone sounds like. most that if we were to call your salon as an example, whoever's watching this video, if you're a salon owner, we probably would get the ringtone. So it's not very inspiring. You're sort of just missing a few tricks there. And firstly, I offer professional touch, but if it's based on promotional narrative, and of course you can look to generate additional interest in a particular treatment you're offering as a special. Maybe it's a brand you're focusing on. Maybe it's an open salon event that you want as many of your current clients to come to. Maybe even get some new ones in the door as well. So you don't need a lot of seconds for this to work, guys. I mean, you're talking about 5-10 seconds. It's plenty of time to get a message across without annoying the client. You're going to replace the ringtone. They're going to get a better experience. If they're first-time users or potential prospects of yours, they're going to say, "Oh, I'm impressed by that. They sound a real professional, reputable business. I want to spend my money with." And the whole idea, guys, is what we're trying to do is sort of flip it on its head. So you pay for a utility at the moment. So your phone line and your internet is probably way down the pecking order. It's just the bill you pay for at the end of each month, and it is what it is, But we're trying to sort of open your eyes and say, well, this is actually a golden marketing tool for you. If you've got clients that are calling through, they're going to call through anyway. They're not going to mind that 10-15 seconds whilst they wait for their call to be answered to be entertained slightly. It can be blatant sales, trying to fill them with as much sales content as possible. It can be a bit more informative, tips of what trends there are at the moment, what you'd recommend, what's coming out, what's new. There's loads of ways this service can be used. It's just, I think you guys are missing a trick. And again, it doesn't have to be all Americanized as some sort of clients. Before they listen to what we can do, they then decided and made their own decision. That some have even decided to record it themselves for that extra personalization. So many of your clients may call through, and they're calling you because they love you and they love your work. And they love the creations you create for them. So add that extra step of personalization, just cements that fact that they're going to, just keep coming back.
You actually made up a very good point. I was actually going to back up by saying that the more personalized your tone, the more personalized that actual type of reception is, that goes a long way. Like you said, it's going to be 5-10 seconds, but that's a very crucial 5 seconds that can make or break it. Now, you mentioned trends, you mentioned current events. With current circumstances, especially here in the UK, with the storm that's been completely going over the entire UK, it's knocked down some lines, knocked down some telecommunications. How has that affected you and your business moving forward? And additionally, how has that affected your approach in going about to pitching on your services to others? When you have these type of natural disasters and natural occurrences, how much of a detriment is that on your market?
Yeah, I think from our perspective, we use very trusted sources. So the sources we use are at a premium cost to us, if you like. And that's done by design. That's not just to be sort of flash, if you like. It's just making sure that we've got continuity and resilience in place. So all our customers, it's paramount to us that our communication services works. So internet works, phone calls work, Wi-Fi works. That's a staple for any business. What we can actually introduce, and we have done for a few clients, is a plan B. So when we say plan B, it's looking at an alternative connectivity method. So if the primary connection is an internet connection, so a traditional wall socket into a router, and you've got Wi-Fi. If that is ever impeded or affected by a natural disaster, such as obviously the current storms that are happening, telecoms cabinets in some areas can flood, which can obviously cause interference. So if that was to ever happen, plan B is to go down a data route. So when we say data, it's 4G, 5G.
Yeah.
So genuine business continuity backup, and just keeps your business flowing. So we basically run a hands-off approach, which to you guys means that the way we set it up, if plan A or primary circuit, so the internet connection was ever affected, data kicks in. So plan B just kicks straight in, don't have to touch anything, don't have to pull any cables out, don't have to call us. It'll just basically run its course. We'll know the broadbands, so primary circuit A has gone down or been affected. We get straight on the case with our carriers and suppliers to make sure we can get that resolved as soon as possible. All the whilst you can still take and make phone calls, your internet still works, you can still process payments, and if you're streaming music, as an example, and that all still just works, you won't even notice, you know, the slight downtime you're looking between 1.5 minutes and 2 minutes, end to end. Which, you know, is nothing to, you know, rather than having hours and hours of outages, maybe even days.
If you're listening to this, you ask yourself the question: is your provider being like this level of a helpful consultant to you as AMA is? Because they will really break down the importance of the most minute details and the intricacies and the nuances as to why these things are very much important. And as he just mentioned, having a plan B. These are very important questions to ask, even if they were to never, actually happen to you or your business. AMA make it very apparent to have that type of fail-safe there just in case. So, lastly, one of my last questions would be is that you're very busy in October. We're coming towards the end of the year. Will there be any more shows you'll be showing out on throughout either November or December? Be it a salon show or a general business show. Where will you be, and where can your viewers and new customers and clients find you?
So we will be, so for AMA, we're going to be at 100% optical in February. So that's at the Excel in London. So any opticians that are watching this video and you're going to attend the show, please do pop along and see us. Just waiting on the stand number. So as soon as I get that, we'll do a follow-up video just to confirm exactly where we'll be. But again, we'll be there to offer advice, tips, and obviously expertise, and you can bring any questions you need or want answering, and obviously we'll be there and more than happy to help. On the salon side, we will be popping up at an event in a couple of weeks. So the NHBF are unveiling their top 100 influencers for 2023. So we're looking forward to being at that event, guys. So we will be floating around. So myself and my colleague Renata, we're going to be circling the room. So please feel free to come over and say hello if you see us. And obviously, if you got any questions or tips, or looking for tips, or advice, then obviously we're there and we're happy to help and have a chat.
You've heard it here. There is no excuse to not get in contact with Adam or AMA. And if you are satisfied with good, ask yourself, why do you not want to be great? Because AMA can make you great and therefore better. Adam, it's always a pleasure speaking to you.
Thank you, Preston. Pleasure.
Yeah. And we'll be back next time with some new topics, new tips, new tricks, and further updates with this type of space. So keep an eye out for it.
Thank you, guys. Catch you soon.